here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Friday. So on Fridays, we always try to do something revolving around tech. So it's time for Tech Life Weekly. Um, we just want to welcome you to the show, to all of you watching live and on the replay. If you're waiting for us in the clubhouse, we want you to know we're having some technical difficulties and we'll be there shortly. All right, so we're going to get started with this week in tech history, and I'd like to share a few um, things about who Black tech innovators, because after all, it's Black History Month. So today I want to give you a little information about several people who made major strides in tech history. Among them was, let's start with Granville Woods. He lived from 1856 to 1910. He is known as the Black Edison. He invented 15 different appliances for the electronic railways and held nearly 60 patents at the time of his death. His most notable invention was the multiplex induction telegraph, which allowed people to communicate by voice over telegraph wires, which ultimately prevented train accidents. Wood's title as Black Edison has quite the story behind it. When Woods created this multiplex telegraph, Thomas Edison tried to sue Woods. When that failed, he tried to make Woods a partner, and Woods refused that also. So, you know, things happen in tech history that we need to be aware of. I also want to talk to you about Otis Boykin. Otis Boykin lived from 1920 to 1982. He was a native of Dallas, Texas. Boykins graduated from Fisk University, my alma mater, in 1941. During his professional life, he began to work with the Majestic Radio and TV Corporation and later worked at P.J. Nelson Research Laboratories. Boykin was a prolific inventor who had 26 patents at the time of his death. His most notable inventions included a wire precision resistor used in televisions, radio, IBM computers, and even in military missiles. Perhaps one of the most notable uses of his work, however, was his control unit for the pacemaker. This invention allowed the pacemaker to be more precisely regulated. So, all of us who know someone who has a pacemaker, we owe that significant invention success to Otis Boykin, born 1920. Wow. And the native of Dallas, Texas. I want to talk about Melba Roy Moton. She lived from 1929 to 1990. In the wake of the movie Hidden Figures, groundbreaking mathematician Mary Jackson, Katherine Johnson, and Dorothy Vaughan are finally getting the credit that they deserve for calculating the equations to let men like Neil Armstrong actually get to space. Melba Roy Moton is another prominent mathematician whose work was essential at NASA. She served as one of NASA's human computers, beginning her career as a mathematician and working her way up to be head computer programmer and then program production chief, section chief at NASA. Yes. So we have a lot to be grateful for. It says here that she worked her way up to being head computer programmer and then program production chief at Gooden Space Flight Center. Roy's computations helped produce the orbital element timetables that allowed millions of people to see the satellite from Earth as it passed overhead. Wow. I can remember sitting on the floor in kindergarten and watching these space flights go to and fro. Good morning, TJ.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. We are not in Clubhouse because I could not get it going. So,
Oh,
yeah, so we'll be over there shortly, I guess. Hi, Dr. Tachi. Yes, no Clubhouse, Dr. Tachi, because I don't know how to work it, and France on the road. So here we are. Oh, so if you guys can get into Clubhouse, we'd
you want
appreciate
me
it.
to try? I haven't tried.
Okay.
I
So
get
give
an
it a shot
echo.
while I do these Blacks in Tech History right now.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, so I want to talk a little bit about Meredith Gordon. She lived from 1929 to 1998. Meredith Charles Flash Gordon was a triple threat as an athlete, engineer, and physicist. I'm sorry, one of his accomplishments was winning a silver medal at the 1952 Summer Olympics in Helsinki. Hmm. He earned his bachelor's degree in engineering in 1953 and a doctorate in engineering from uh, California Institute of Technology, Caltech, when he worked as a jet. He worked in the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. In 1994, he was inducted into Dayton, Ohio Engineering and Science Hall of Fame. Later, he would serve as a trustee of Cornell University and be elected to the National Academy of Engineering. You know, we have some profound history um, in technology. Let's see who else I want to talk about. Frank Green. He is standing
Okay.
alone.
I went in Clubhouse. You're in there.
Am I
So
really? Well, that's good to know.
yeah,
I
it's
want to
going.
welcome everybody to the clubhouse. And Dr. Tachi says over here in the notes, she says, "Hey,
Yeah,
no
Clubhouse
clubhouse."
is there.
Okay. Well, then, is it open? Can they hear us?
Yeah,
Because
because I was just there.
okay, good. This is good to know. So, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Can you
Uh,
hear me?
yes, I can.
Okay, just making sure. Carry on.
Oh, this is so good. I'm so happy. Okay, I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to turn this over to um, TJ, and we're going to get started with what's going on in social media. Okay, and I believe I was sharing with you about Frank Green standing let's see, and standing alongside tech giants like Robin Noyce, David Packard, William Hewlett, Hewlett and Varian Brothers as one of the 63 inductees into the Silicon Valley Engineering Hall of Fame. Green is often hailed as one of the first Black technologists. Green grew up in the highly segregated St. Louis of the 50s, where he said making it through life was a civil rights activity in itself. I agree. He was the first Black candidate to make it through the U.S. Air Force ROTC program in 1961 and later became an Air Force captain. His career also included developing high speed semiconductor memory systems at Fairchild Semiconductor R&D Labs in the 60s and starting two technology companies. Later, he founded New Vista Capital, a venture firm focused on firms led by minority and female professionals. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what I wanted to share with you about Blacks in technology. I'll be sharing additional ones through the month in honor of Black History Month, but there are some outstanding individuals that need to be acknowledged. And what a better time than Black History Month. So, with that, I want to thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to TJ. TJ, I'm going to put you in the place of authority.
Okay, I was just looking for
One of
One
your
thing to
articles.
add
Mm-hmm.
that I
And I'll
wanted
get
to
these
add
banners
one
ready.
thing, so just give me a minute.
Sure. So we want to thank everybody who's watching live and on the replay. Dr. Tachi, we're going to be getting to you sooner than later, it looks like, because that's all I have to share today. And
Okay,
when,
we can go ahead. I'm ready.
all right, so there you are, you're in the seat.
Okay. Oops, my notes did not update.
If you're looking
I
for
need my
Terry
note.
Johnson, all the way from New York City, you can find her at Terry Johnson online everywhere on the internet machine.
Okay, give me a second, guys. Oh, there we go. Because I was looking on my iPad. It did not update from the desktop.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Been there. Mhm.
All right, I'm just making sure this is not last week news. Yeah, I think it did update. Okay, so this week, oh, let me get back to this. Now I got things going on here. All right. This week is social media news. Yes. Okay, I want to start with Google. So this
Mm,
week we had some uh quarterly earnings report from
mhm.
Meta and Google and different places. So
Whoa. Sorry. I hit the wrong button. Go ahead.
and I don't have that. Okay. But I'll talk about this. So YouTube Shorts has surpassed 50 billion daily views, up from 30 billion a year ago.
Hmm.
So Shorts was launched in this format was launched in 2021 as Google's response to TikTok. And beginning February 1st, which we're past February 1st, YouTube enabled creators to create ad revenues from their shorts videos. But the thing is, you have to be a part of the partner program. I think you have to have 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours watch time. I think
Mm.
Dr. Tati,
Mhm.
correct me. I'm trying to remember. But if you're in the partner program, now you get to share in ad revenue with the shorts format. That means you earn a 45% share of revenue from the ads viewed around your shorts, and YouTube retains the remaining 55%. Creators with over 1,000 subscribers and 10 million short views over the preceding 90 days can earn for shorts ad revenue. Okay, so creators on oh, that's Facebook, and so they're comparing it. TikTok has you have to have a minimum of 100,000 followers, and I believe the amount you get from those views is not as much as on YouTube and Facebook. You have to have a minimum of 10,000 followers and 5 active videos on your page, as well as a total of 600 minutes viewed in the last 60 days. So YouTube is bringing uh ad revenue to shorts. How does everybody feel about that?
You called that. You said that there would be ads everywhere.
Yeah, so now shorts has it, and YouTube has generated under 8 billion in revenue, and they're down from 8.6 billion in revenue this time last year.
Mm. Did you
So
say
YouTube
billion?
shorts has fifty billion daily views, and shorts is growing. That just shows that shorts is growing,
Mm-hmm.
and we've talked about that. And I had another YouTube story here and I can't find it. So we're going to move on. All right. So let's move on. We're going to bring in OpenAI because we've started talking about Chat GPT a lot. So OpenAI has announced a paid subscription for Chat GPT. And we said it's not going to be free anymore. Well, they have a free tier. So let's
Mm-hmm.
look at this. So Chat GPT is switching to a freemium model. So they have a free level where you get a certain amount of things you can search for and ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Also, your access to Chat GPT is not guaranteed, but if you use the paid subscription, which is $20 a month, you get guaranteed access to the tool. So as we know, if you go on in, you'll see that you can't get in. Some people can't get in at all. I leave my little window open. So whenever I go into the browser, it just opens up. But I've seen some people report that they can't get in at all. So Chat GPT is owned by or made by OpenAI. So they are saying that the new subscription plan, Chat Chat GPT Plus, will be available for $20 a month. Subscribers will receive a number of benefits. So the benefits are, as a subscriber,
Okay.
general access to Chat GPT even during peak times,
Mm.
faster response times, priority access to new features and improvements. So there's a version of Chat GPT that will remain free to use, but you'll be subjected to delays getting in during peak times. You may not be able to use it at all. There's no guarantee
Mhm.
that you can get in because it's a very popular tool right now. So they're saying
Okay.
if you pay, you get in the express line. Really what they're saying. Okay, so that's going on with chat. Also, I was trying to find it and I lost it. Chat GPT announced that they have a tool. Let me see if I can find it because I did a screenshot. They have a tool that will put on, I believe it will put on a watermark. It will mark the content in some form or fashion saying that it's from Chat GPT. Let me
Mhm.
see. Yes, here it is. So, OpenAI has released a tool to detect machine written text. So, it's a
Mhm.
tool that's going to allow educators and others figure out if a particular copy was written by a human or a machine. So, how it works: users will copy text into a box, and the system will rate how likely the text is to have been generated by an AI system.
Mm.
It's based on a 5-point scale of results. It works best on text samples greater than 1,000 words and in English. And OpenAI says the new tool is significantly better than the previous one it had released. So they are working on tools to where that you will be able to take copy that says, a student wrote a paper or whatever, and you have a
Yes.
suspicion about a certain section or whatever, copy it and you put it in this tool, and AI will tell you if it was written by the human or is it AI generated.
Okay. Mark says $20 a month is cheap. Oh, he
Yes.
says
It's
steep.
steep.
He thinks it's steep. I
Well,
think it's
the
cheap.
moral of the story is that learn to write yourself as well. Because I mean, I think people thought that this was going to be a panacea for everything, and it is great. But now they're putting some roadblocks in terms of the fact that now you have to pay for $20 a month, which to me, yeah, it's cheap. But if you're already paying
I
for some other things, you may not want to shell out another $20 a month.
Right.
mhm. Yeah, I think it's cheap too, Dr. Tachi. And I think that if you use it as a prompt and not just a cut and paste verbatim, I think you'll be okay.
Right. So what you have to realize
What's
is
that?
that Chat GPT is not the only uh, banana in the bunch, so to speak. There are
Yeah.
other tools. We talked about Canva a lot. There's a Word Hero, Content Bot, Jasper A. I could go, the list is long. I even
Mm.
gave a website called futuretools.io that you can go to, and it lists all of the AI tools, not just these Chat GPT. For some reason, Chat GPT has taken over, and just it is, people are just enamored with it, just like when TikTok came out and everybody was just crazy about it. It seems to be that, even though there are other AI tools that you can use to generate content and other things, it's just
Mhm.
that it seems to be Chat GPT is more user friendly, or it's like, you just put a prompt in and you get something out and you work with it. And like Dr. Tachi said, you're not supposed to copy and paste this straight from the tool. It is a
Mhm.
idea generating tool. It's to help you be more creative, to give you more ideas. And we talked about this since, I believe, December. We talked about it, and we showed
Yes.
on Tuesday, we showed different ways how you can use this to generate content for your business, the ideas that you use. So we've talked about it, but there's people that have copy and pasted. I've seen it out everywhere, and I'm like, okay, you did that in Chat GPT, because you can tell by the wording, and it doesn't. And Dr. Tachi will, can say this, that if a student turns in something, they've turned in other work before this, and they suddenly turn in this work, and they sound like Shakespeare. You're like, wait a minute, that's not your voice.
That's not your voice.
So there'll be ways to tell, but there are tools, and more are coming that will have a watermark that you'll be able to go in some kind of form of fashion that will say, hey, and it'll have a little sticker on it or something that say, hey, this came from a chat bot, Chat GPT, or whatever you want to call it. There'll be something to say that this is AI generated, and it should be that way. It should be that way.
Yes, it's sort of like understanding whether or not a vegetable is organic or not. We need to
Right.
know, we need to
I
know
mean,
that.
it's a great tool. We talked about it, but we talked about the responsible ways to use it. That is, it's like a sounding board, a jumping off spot for your creativity, where you create content or create things in your voice.
And you know what else I like about the fact that they're charging for Chat GPT is that actually can be, maybe a slight barrier to people who were planning to just use it to make themselves more wonderful than they actually are. So now you actually have to pay for that. So I think that, it's a barrier to people who, may just use it for whatever. Maybe not high enough of a barrier, but a slight barrier nonetheless.
Oh, the $20 monthly fee is gonna knock some people out of the box, because they're it was free. Oh, they flocked to it. They loved it. Like bees to honey, or whatever saying you want to say. But then once you introduce, oh, well, now you like that, now you have to pay X amount of dollars a month. Oh, no, I'm good. And they're just gonna back off. So that's gonna get rid of some of the bad actors, like Dr. Tati is saying. That's gonna get rid of some of them. But the ones that say, hey, I need this tool, I'm going to pay for it. I think we talked on Tuesday about real estate agents. I saw another article on real
Yes, I
estate
saw
agents
that this morning.
that
Yeah.
they use it for
Listings.
listings and descriptions, which saves them time. They're not here to plagiarize or whatever. It's just that something that they do by rote, they can let this tool do it for them, and they'll pay the $20 a month.
Sure.
And that's what I mean when this tool is going to take over, and especially for business owners, where something I don't have to do. And we brought up analogies like using the calculator versus when I was in school, you got to carry the one that had pen and paper. Well, now you have the calculator to do that. And those are things that you don't have to do or remember. And people want that because that frees up my time. Say I'm a realtor or whatever. I don't need to spend time on the little rote things like descriptions and things when I can get this tool to do it for me, and I can move on to something else that's going to help me sell a house or make more money. I'm going to move on to those things that the chatbot can't do. It's like having a sit there, and I've seen articles say, "Oh, this is like your little virtual assistant or whatever." I'm like, yeah, you can say that, but I wouldn't say it like that. I would say this would take out the things that by rote that you do, and you just let the chatbot do it, and you move on, so you don't have to spend a lot of time thinking about, okay, well, I got to put this and that and that. You let it do that. So, that's how I see it, and so this is what's happening. So the people that were using it for free and running, I've seen them go crazy everywhere. I'm like, that's Chat GP. I'm like, that's Chat. I could tell because the words they're using and the flow of it does not sound like their normal content. So like, oh, you went to Chat GPT and just straight copied and pasted. Okay, that's good for the people that don't know, that's following you online. They don't know, they may not know that. And you're
They may
coming
not
in
know your
acting
voice
like,
yet.
right, you're coming in acting like you're I'm the expert, because you copied and pasted from ChatGPT, which is getting it from the internet of information that's already out there. So that's going to wear thin. You're going to be able to see through that because either they don't pay the fee, and then their content certainly changes, or the tone changes,
Yeah.
and they don't pay the $20, and you're like, oh, I thought you was the expert. So never trust people that call themselves the expert,
Mm.
unless they have been like a company that's been around for 100 years or something. Then okay, yeah,
Yeah.
they can kind of call themselves expert. But the people that are flowing up now, and there's always people that's going to scam, because they figured out how to scam the not the uneducated. I mean, I don't want to say that, the uninitiated, or those that aren't aware. They will scam them because they're not aware. So that will always be here, and those people will take advantage of this tool to scam people out of their money. And I hope people will become aware. So that's why we talk about those things, right? So
Uh-huh.
people will become aware and not fall into the trap or the scam of following a person who sounds like they know what they're talking about when they really don't. And all they want to do is put you in a honey trap to get your money,
Mm.
right?
Beware the
Mm-hmm.
honey trap and the honey badgers.
Yeah,
They're
the honey
brutal.
badger, the honey trap. Being on today's internet is not like being on the internet of the 90s. It's like
Mm.
crazy. It's like the things you have to be aware of. So, this is the latest tool in making content that can be good for business owners, and then it can be bad for some followers who are not discerning, or know how to figure out a person, if a person is legit or not. So let's help those who may not know.
I'd like to add another component to this. Um, Not talking about the service exactly, but the fact, the way that they started doing the pricing, unlike Twitter Blue and some of the other people and how they did it, they just came right out, but they also had something of value to make people pay the 20.
Mm.
Right.
I still don't, Twitter Blue still don't have a delete button.
There's nothing of value. There's nothing of worth to even buy the Twitter blue check mark, because now anybody can have the blue check mark, which decreases its value.
Mm-hmm.
So now when I see a blue check mark, I have to go and look at the person's profile to see if they paid for it. Because
Mm.
Twitter
It's
at least Twitter
way too
does
much
that.
time.
They will say the person paid the monthly fee, and then I can go, oh, that's not a real verified person. That's just somebody with $8.
And but what Chat GPT did was actually give you something of value. Okay, if you want unlimited access to our uh, which is interesting because all of this used to be open source. If
Mm-hmm.
you want to get access to this and you pay the monthly fee, but it makes sense. They got to pay the developers. They got to keep the thing going.
Well, you have to realize when they have a tool like this that's on the internet, servers have to be paid, and
Mm.
the fact that it runs so quickly and you get an answer like that, that tells me they're putting a lot into the back end of server load.
Mm.
So that has to be paid for. Those are costs involved when running a website. If you own a website, you have to pay web hosting, and it's $200 a month or whatever, and then it keeps going up because the costs go up. So the tool can't be free. And then it started out, it was really Chat GPT beta, and it says it at the
Yes.
bottom. I think it still says beta. That means it's
Mm-hmm.
in testing mode, and they're getting you to use it to see how fast it responds, what kind of answers you get. Are you happy with the answers? Because I think there's a little thumbs up and down that you could say if the answer is kind of satisfactory, or did you get something that you wanted. And also OpenAI has given you access to it and said, hey, there's no charge, because we need to test it in the wild. We need to
Mm-hmm.
see how it interacts with human people. How does it work? What kind of server load? All of those things in the back. So they're doing that while oh, we're using it. We're having a good time. And now they're like, okay, you like this? Now it's time to pay, because to keep this train running, we need $20 a month from you.
Mhm.
And really, they could have charged more, and they
They could.
probably will.
Right.
Indeed.
And then they kind of did what StreamYard did, which was, okay, you guys can have the free version, and you're only going to get so many hours. You're only going to get so much space. You're only going to
Right.
get so much of
And our
anything.
logo is there, so you know it's StreamYard.
Right. But
Right.
if you don't want a logo, and if you want longer time, and you want more people, and you want other perks,
You
then you're
want
going to need to pay.
webinar and you want to do all that, then enter into our paid area of the mall or whatever, and here's the options. And you can't say, well, why am I paying? Because you have to pay. They have costs that they're incurring, employees, labor costs, overhead, they have to pay those things. So I don't
Mhm.
know.
Which leads me back to what you talked about with something like Be Real and all of that. It's like, how are you sustaining the cost of doing something? And I am not opposed to paying whatever cost if it's gonna the functionality is gonna work to keep me
Right.
using the tool.
Right. And I
Mhm.
haven't heard any real talk about Be Real since that time we talked about it was on Saturday Night Live or something. I
Mhm.
haven't
Hmm.
heard news talk of it anywhere. I mean, I could go Google it, but I was like, I really didn't care about it because we talked about that. It's an app that is not asking you to pay and they're not getting ads. So how are they sustainable? Oh, we have VC money. Well, Blab told us that. Blab said, "Don't worry about it. We got money. We're fully funded." And the guy, I forgot who it was. The guy came on and they would do the town halls and, oh, we got money and this person that, don't worry about it. And all of a sudden they turned the lights out. But we was like, we was willing to pay though. But you
Mhm.
didn't want our money.
Mhm. Dr. Tachi says, "Be real is nonsense."
I haven't. I installed it. I looked at it. Was like, this. It's gone with the wind. I haven't heard any talk about it.
Mm.
I mean, maybe Gen Z is using it, but not a lot. They're all on TikTok. So, again, an app, a website, That's why they're getting 10 billion from Microsoft. They're getting this money because they need that for cloud services, for servers, for server farms. That's why things run when you go to a website like Twitter or whoever or Facebook, it's like that because they have more servers, which means they have more costs. So, and Facebook's thing is what they run ads. So
Hmm.
they run ads. TikTok run ads. Not as much, but TikTok's a different animal because that's owned by a foreign company, by a foreign country. That's China. So we don't know the ins and outs. We never will. That's one of the things that's
Yeah.
going on. But we'll get to TikTok. Okay, so OpenAI, Chat GPT, are we good with that? They're working on tools
Yeah, I'm
to
good.
Okay, they're working
Mhm.
on
Yes.
tools to detect if you're just straight copying and pasting.
Uh-huh.
And also, we're moving into monetization to $20 a month. It's still free to use, but there's no guarantee that you'll be able to get the information that you're looking for. There's no guarantee that you'll be able to get on. Because I've seen some people online saying they still can't get to, I want to try this Chat GPT. I can never get on. And that's not going to change for the free people. But if you fork over your $20 and you
Mhm.
think that's something in your budget and it's valuable to you, then you'll get the $20, you'll get on. So that's where it's heading.
TJ, do
Mhm.
you want to let them know about the alternative? You still, well, I don't know if
Oh,
you
I
can pay
mentioned
for
the
it.
future. There's a list of tools, futuretools.io. Go to that
Uh,
website. They're all listed
uh,
there.
I'm talking about the one
Um,
you use.
oh, the Canva. I mentioned Canva. Canva has the magic right. You could use that. I said there's Content Bot, there's Word Hero, Jasper AI. There's one called RWTE, I think. Um,
Okay.
there's several. There's even tools where if you want to go in and manage your social media accounts, all of them All of
Mm-hmm.
those tools are putting chat GPT like things in.
Mm.
So I'm thinking Agora Pulse, Hootsuite, Buffer, all of those types of management tools, they'll
Mm-hmm.
have it. So, you know, don't worry about it.
Right.
If you're already paying for one of those, ask if they don't have it or they haven't sent you an email saying they're working on it, ask them to add it and they will. So if you're
Okay.
already paying for it.
Mhm.
So it's going to be everywhere. That's what we're talking about. It's going to be everywhere in everything. We're not going to avoid it. So that's why we've been talking about it for so many weeks to get you, hey, you got to get used to this adjustment in how we're making content and how things are going to happen creatively wise, create on a creative level. So just get
Yeah.
ready.
Beverly had a question. She said, "What is it called on Canva?"
It's you go into Canva, you make a document. I think it's Canva doc or docs. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going off of
Yes.
memory. And then when you create a document, there's a plus sign, and you click the plus sign, and there's different things you can do inside the document. The first one, it says Magic Write, but it's Canva Docs or Canva Documents. Let me check real quick.
It's Canva Docs.
Canva Docs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You go in there, you make a new document because in Canva, when you make a new document, you can type bullet. Say you need to make a presentation. You can just type your bullet points, and it will it will take that text and move it to the presentation for you, or it will make graphics, or it will make you can do videos, you can do websites, you can do TikTok videos, you can do reels, all of that stuff inside of Canva. So once you open a doc and you type in some text, you can take it to wherever you want to go. That's why Canva's so good. That's
Mm-hmm.
why we talk about it. Because you can start there and then you can end up with the content that you need for Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever you need to go, Twitter, LinkedIn. Okay.
Yep. Yay.
Right,
Thank
but
you.
there's several alternatives. It's not just Chat GPT. That is the one that the news is talking about for some reason. I'm thinking because it's so easy to use. I think that's why it is. But there's other tools that have it. All right, so let's move on to Snapchat. So we haven't talked about them in a while. They've been quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Snapchat is outlining new initiatives for to celebrate Black History Month. They have on Spotlight, they're launching a new set of Black History Month Spotlight challenges, which will see over $40,000 awarded to creators for taking part in specific projects aligned with this project. Snapchat's Black History Month challenges will be updated weekly throughout February, and they're going to touch on themes. So February 1 through the 7th, which is this week, share what hashtag Black Excellence means to you. Next week, show us what a day in the life at your HBCU looks like with a hashtag. Use and then the week
Ooh.
after that, use a location tag for your
I love
favorite.
that.
Hmm? Oh, uh,
I just said I love that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this is a list. So this week is they have a challenge each week. The third week, use a location tag for your favorite local Black owned business. Tell us why you support them. And there's a hashtag that you use which each week. And the last week of February, educate spotlight on the most interesting Black History Month facts. And then there's a hashtag to go with that. So this is in Spotlight in Snapchat. So when you go into Snapchat, you know, you get the main window and then you see stories and stuff like that. There's a button there's a icon at the bottom that says Spotlight. You tap on that. That's their TikTok like feed. That's their where their reels and shorts and videos, what they
Oh,
call
okay.
their Spotlight. And it's an actual tab that you go and you'll see things from celebrities, from other people that you may want to watch. So you can take advantage of that. Here's the quote. So today, Snapchatters can express themselves with a collection of augmented reality lenses created by Black AR creators, and they're listing the creators. On February 15th, Snapchatters will be able to explore a new collection of Black History Month lenses created by a group of 7 Black AR creators. So that's in addition to the challenge. So lenses is when you go in and you see people with the little dog ears and all the different things. So those are called lenses. So they've made some for Black History Month. So go and take a look if you have Snapchat. Also, Snapchat has added 12 million users in Q4. They have lower than expected revenue results. They've added they're saying their Snapchat Plus subscription continue to rise. They haven't given a number on it. And they're saying that North American user growth is still flat. European users saw an uptick, and they're saying that India is driving a lot of Snapchat growth, and that's because India does not have TikTok. Remember, they banned it.
Correct.
And some other Chinese-based apps. So India has banned a lot of things with China. So because they don't have TikTok, they have Snapchat. So this is why they had a lot of users. Okay, so that is Snapchat. Let's move on to. Let me make sure we can do Instagram. Yeah, let's do Instagram. Oh, quickly before I go to Instagram, Facebook Meta, their revenues have fallen 4% in Q4, but they've also hit 2 billion daily active users. So Meta has a decline for the third consecutive quarter, and they've had a pullback in ad spending because they're trying to compete with TikTok, and they're saying that but they're having more users. So their revenue is down 4% year over year, and they're saying that that they've hit 2 billion daily users. So we can take that as is. Facebook had their issues last year because of the Apple privacy issue. So Apple rolled out an update that let their users opt out of being tracked. Ask app not to track. A lot of people said, do not track me. So that cut down a lot of what Facebook could do as far as saying, we could serve ads to Apple users, but they're starting to come back with whatever answer they had to that to figure out all of the demographics and things you can use for your ads. So we'll take that as it is. So people are using it, but their revenues will fall because of the ad revenues.
Okay.
And that
Terry,
has to go ahead.
I don't want to digress, but Mark had a comment before we
Okay,
moved
let's
on
go. Yeah.
from the AI situation. He said, I bought an inexpensive lifetime membership to Word Hero quite a while ago. It has tons of options. Personally, I do not like the way that it writes, but it can be helpful in clarifying my ideas. Oh no, that's not it. This is it is useful to me in that regard. So
Right. And
I
see,
just
that's absolutely right, Mark. That these tools are used to, instead of think of an artist and they have a blank canvas, and how do they come up with the ideas? Well, people do different things, stare at it, move around. But these tools come along and say, hey, you no longer have to stare at a blank canvas. You no longer have to stare at a blank piece of paper. Going, well, what do I write? What do I write? What do I do? What? So that's what these tools are doing. So some of them, like Mari said, it's not going to give you exactly what you want, and it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be this thing that says, I have a germ of an idea. Help me flesh it out. And we did that on one of the Tuesday shows.
yes.
Because I was saying that when I have ideas, I put them in my Asana, or I use Zoho notebook. I have different places where I'll put things. But I will always record my idea because I'm like, I've gone through where if I don't write it down and I go, well, let me try to remember it, I never do. And I've lost some great ideas. So I was like, immediately, I don't care if it doesn't make sense. I will write it down and come back later. Now I can go in and get all of those little pieces of ideas that I had. I can put them into my tool of choice, and it has helped me flesh that idea out. So Mark's right. It's going to help you with your ideas. It's going to help you fine tune it, and you'll be able to go from there and say, okay, that sounds right, but let me take it a different way, and let me write it differently because that doesn't sound right to me. So Mark's right. That's what you do with these tools. And it's all about, it's going to save you time. So instead of you spending hours trying to write a blog post or write a social media, I got an idea about this. Let me put it into the tool. It's going to spit something out and go, oh, now I can go and take this word out and do, fix it up the way it sounds for you and post it and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Because see, a lot of people on social media, well, it has to be perfect, or it has to be this or that. And then I think we had somebody on one of the Tuesday shows that she spent hours on a social media, post. No, you got an idea. This is 5 things, or this is my thought about blah blah blah. Find a little graphic to go with it, post it, and move on. And we're not going to obsess over it because you're going to come along with another idea, another thought for the day or the week, and sit down and plan your content and let it go. Let it go, let it do its thing. And if it's not doing its thing to your satisfaction, you can delete it and start over. You can Instagram, I love you can archive it from your profile. You hit archive and it disappears from your profile. It's still on your account.
Mm-hmm.
But you can take it from view and say, well, okay, that didn't hit the way I wanted it to hit. Let me rework it and post it with as a reel, or let me post it in the stories, or let me post it as a carousel, let me post it over here, let me do something different. So that's what it's about. You're supposed to be working on these things and not obsessing over, well, this one reel got 2,000 views, one reel got 20 views.
Mm-hmm.
That's what reels is going to do. That's what these things are going to do. Now they're obsessing over TikTok, saying that, well, they're not getting as many views on their video as they did 2 years ago. 2 years ago, or even last year. I'm like, things change. So you got to let that go. Are you
Mm-hmm.
here to make content because I want 100,000 views on all of my videos? That's
Mm-hmm.
not what's going to happen. You have to be there to make the content that's going to connect with somebody to say, hey, I want to follow you because you're talking about the thing that interests me or something I need. And you go on from there. So that's where we need to be with this. Okay, but the word hero, it's a good tool. I have it too. I mean, it's not one
Mm-hmm.
that I use a lot, but I go to it because I think there's some things, there's some tools in there that I like for some more advanced marketing stuff. But
Okay.
you use the tool that you like, and they're not going to
Mm-hmm.
spit everything out 100%. Okay,
Okay.
all
Yes.
right,
I just wanted to make sure we acknowledged his comment. Mm-hmm.
okay, all right. So Meta's doing what they're doing. Let's move on. They're doing what they're doing. But see that one thing I want to mention because I wanted to talk about the Meta thing is that they have their viewers are growing, their users are growing, their daily active users are there. So that's why I say even though their revenue may be down or we don't like the tool or whatever, that's where people are hanging out of a certain age. I'll say of a certain age.
Okay.
But if you are Gen Z, you know where to find them, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
Facebook. All right, so Instagram is rolling out inbox notes. So they launched this new notes feature in selected regions last month. Now they're expanding Europe and Japan, adding notes. Now notes are short. I haven't seen them. If anybody's seen them, let me know. Notes are short posts up to 60 characters long, which are displayed at the top of your IG inbox for 24 hours. Your connections
Oh.
can see and respond to your notes in the app, providing an easy way to spark conversation and engagement in the stream. So again, here's another place. And Instagram likes to let you have conversations in different spots. Like you can have it on the feed, you can have it on the stories, you can have a conversation in the reels, you can have a conversation in the DMs, and now they're giving you notes. So it's like
Mm.
another touch point for you to have a conversation with your audience, depending on what level of interest they have with you. So this would be more of a think like text messaging.
Uh-huh.
So when you get somebody on your text message list, when you get somebody's phone number to where you can send them SMS messages, that's really a great high level connection. Because I'm like, people don't just me, I don't like to give out my phone number.
Mm-mm.
But if I give
Mm-mm.
you my phone number and you texting me, that means I really want the information or the content that you have. So
Okay.
notes is kind of like that within Instagram. So just another level of engaged interest. So Instagram has different levels. So they're launching this text update across Europe and Japan. And they're saying that Instagram says that during testing, it found people appreciated having a way to start conversations in a lightweight way. The goal of the feature is to give users a casual and spontaneous way to express themselves and connect with others. Okay, so
Okay.
also, the New York Times reported in December that Meta was considering turning Instagram Notes into a Twitter rival to capitalize on the chaos at Twitter following Elon Musk's acquisition last year. So Meta has been weighing what they were going to do. Were they going to make this in app or make it a separate app and go after the people that were dissatisfied with Twitter? I think they're not. I think they're just going to keep it in Instagram, but that's I don't have
Mhm.
any inside information. I'm just going by my thought.
Speculation, uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm just going by my thought because getting users to download a new app is very difficult, even for Meta, because they've done it. Meta has made so many separate apps of different things, and it didn't work out, so they had to remove it. So
Mhm,
that's just one
mhm.
case. Also on the Instagram side, Instagram's founders have created a new social app. So remember the founders of Instagram before they were bought by Meta by Facebook
Okay,
was
yes.
two guys, Kevin
Mhm.
Systrom and Mike Krieger. Now those are the two developers. Those are the parents of Instagram, and then they grew it into something. And Facebook came along and bought it from them. And these two guys stuck around for a long time. And then I remember there was a story about an internal fight between them and Mark Zuckerberg, and they left.
Yes.
And that's
Uh-huh.
when everything went downhill, in my opinion. That's when everything went downhill or uphill
Mhm.
if you're a supporter of Zuckerberg. But they are back. They have an app that they're saying that it's called Artifact. It's in the early stages.
Okay.
And they're calling it Artifact. It's a combination of articles, facts, and artificial intelligence. The new app is designed to provide you with a curated news experience based on your engagement and interest. Now, here's the quote. The app opens to a feed of popular articles chosen from a curated list of publishers, ranging from leading news organizations like the New York Times to small scale blogs about niche topics. Tap on articles that interest you, and Artifact will serve you similar posts and stories in the future. Just as watching videos on TikTok's For You page tunes its algorithm over time. So the app is going to use machine learning algorithms to learn your likes and give you more of what you're liking. So it's going to better curate your personal experience, and so they're developing it.
Hmm.
It's not. I don't think it's available yet, but it's to come. So it's called
This sounds
Artifact.
interesting.
Yeah. So from the makers of Instagram, the parents of Instagram, and they were bought by Meta, and then they left. There was some dispute, and they left. Not in a not on good terms with Mark Zuckerberg. Mark says, I was just thinking, you know what? We could really use another social media app. And see, Mark, I know you got jokes, but I wasn't. This is one I was going to bring up, but there's a new one called Spoutable. Spoutable.
Spoutable. Mhm.
Spout. Spoutible. It just came out February 1st, and I know about it because I follow the guy that developed it. He has a company called Bot Sentinel, where his thing is looking at the uses of bots on Twitter and other places, and
Mhm.
also he follows and looks at the level of bullying, harassment, and trolls and stuff, and he can tell which accounts are creating things to harass people, and so he's done things like on Meghan Markle and Amber Heard, high celebrities like that they get this disproportionate amount of hate. So he tracks all that. So then You know,
Mm.
it came out where Twitter was like, okay, bought by Elon Musk. A lot of people unhappy, still unhappy. And he says, okay, well, I'm going to create a Twitter like experience. So it came out February 1st and it looks and feels like Twitter. Not exactly. It has a blue color. Instead of tweets, it's called spouts or something like that.
Okay.
But he started February 1st. It started out rocky because a lot of people went to sign up, but a lot of people are trying it out. So that's an instance where yes, you're making a new app, but it's because there's a demand or a need for it. Now, people are just
Mm.
making apps just because. Oh, I'm just gonna make an app. And I said before with Instagram, they decided not to make this notes app and just put it inside of Instagram because there's app fatigue. How many apps can you have on your phone? How many apps can you use in a day? So Mark's right, but there are some instances like this Spoutable where it is coming along because people are unhappy with Twitter, and he came along and brought this Twitter experience on
Okay.
a whole different level. Now he didn't copy Twitter; it's just the look of it, the aesthetics of it look like it, and that's to get people who are used to Twitter and like Twitter to come over and to use the Spoutable and get a similar feel of okay, I feel comfortable with it. So that's just two instances of it. Mark
Mm.
says no, it's not Sprout Social, Spoutable. It's the first that first one. Spoutible. It just came out February 1st. He's gone through some bumpy rides as far as server. People pre-registered and they couldn't get in.
Mhm.
He didn't expect the demand. So with
Mm.
so many people signing up that first hour, he said it was rocky. Now it's smoother. It's a little smoother and faster. But again, here's another thing where you have to have enough funding to buy server space and buy cloud services to run things smoothly. So it's not going to be as smooth as Twitter. It's smoothing out, but
Okay.
people are using it and like it. He also has some anti-harassment tools that Twitter does
Oh,
not
good.
have.
Uh-huh.
If you want to check it out, go to spoutable.com. It's put by Chris Boozy, Bouzy. He's the founder. So I signed up that first day and it was rough because things were spinning and there were errors. And I was like, oh well,
Mm.
growing pains. And I remember in the early days, Twitter had failed well. Twitter, was down all the time. So I'm giving him a chance. Oh,
Mhm.
it's not an app yet. It's not an app. It's a website. But you can go to your browser on your phone and use it, and it will give you the Twitter experience. He's working on the app. Again, you can't put a full meal buffet out at first because Twitter, none of these sites did that. Twitter didn't do that first. But so
Mm.
those are things that's coming. So what he's concerned about is bullying, harassment, and privacy issues because all of the things that are happening on Twitter will not happen on Spoutable. That's what he said. Like,
Okay.
the right wing stuff, the bullying, the people that cause trouble on Twitter. There's
Okay.
tools that allow you to permanently seal yourself off from those people.
Okay.
So
Mm.
it's a work in progress. He just came out. It's not even been it's what is this? It's only been 3 days. Day 3.
Wait, what's the name of it again?
Spoutable. Spoutible. And Mark, let me put Mark's comment up if you're in here so you can see it.
This one right here?
Oh, yeah, that one. That one.
Mhm.
Spoutible. Spoutable.
Okay.
Now I'm not sure because he had a pre-registration thing for a month or so. I don't know if he's letting people on now, but if there's a section where you can get on a waiting list or something, get on it. He just wants your email. That's it. So get on that, and once he opens it, because you can't let everybody on. And this is why when there's an update on Instagram, this notes, they can't roll it out to all 3 billion users or how many users they have because there's not enough space for that. That would just cause
Mm.
server overload. So you can't. So he can't let everybody on, but he had a pre-registration drive for like a month, and I got on it.
Okay.
So I think
Hey,
he
we
had
can't
at
hear
least.
you over here in Clubhouse.
Go ahead. What happened?
She says they can't
Can
hear
you?
in
Sound far
Clubhouse.
away.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm
Can you hear
not
me now?
sure, but say again.
Can you hear me? I hear a
It
lot of
sounds
static.
muffled.
Yeah, I hear a
Yeah,
lot
and
of
it sounds
static on my
muffled.
end and an echo.
It also sounds muffled.
I don't
Yes.
know. Can you hear me now? I don't hear the static.
I don't hear anything.
Okay. I can't open my Clubhouse. Now I hear like electronic sounds. There's a lot of static. I don't know what's going on. Then there's a delay. I hear
Okay, I'm not sure.
echo. A
So
lot of echo.
Clubhouse people stand by. I'm not sure that they can hear me. It seems like maybe there's some kind of disconnect. So just stand by. Can you hear me over in?
Yes.
We can hear you over.
Oh, okay. You do. Never mind. They hear
There's some
me.
kind of delay. There's some kind of delay. And then we hear a lot of static. I hear a lot of static.
I hear the static. Yes.
Now I don't hear the static.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we hear the static, and then I hear an echo, and there's a delay. So when I say something, there's a delay for you guys.
And you still hear an echo and delay?
No,
No.
you sound okay, but when I talk, I hear me talking, and then a few seconds later, I hear it from whatever from Terralina's end.
Okay.
Echo stop. Now I got my echo thing.
Now,
So no more echo. Okay.
correct.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, good. So Mark, thank you, Mark. Mark says Spoutable will be open to people on 12 or 2/6. So the 6th of February. Is Mark, is there when you go to it, is there a question where it says well, not a question. Does it say do you want to get on a list, or it just says come back? Let me know that, because he's been talking. I found him on Twitter. He's been talking about it for like a month.
Okay.
He started the sign up process like a month, and then he cut it off like the January 31st. I think he cut off the new registrations because you start out, you only have so much bandwidth, so much server space, and so he was not expecting all of the people that signed up, and more people are coming because he rolled it out to some journalists this last week and let them try it out. They loved it. They were all over Twitter loving it. So all of that word of mouth has built up the desire for it, so he had to cut off letting new people on because they had some issues for the last 2 weeks, not 2 weeks, 2 days of the the rollout was February 1st, and then it was slow, it was down, there was error messages, there was Cloudflare messages, there were this and that. So okay, Mark says no, it tells you to come back if you're not pre-registered. Okay, so that means he can't handle the amount of demand for it, and that's good. That's okay. He's not a big company like Meta. He has a small technology company, so he's starting something out because there was a desire and a demand for it. So just keep it on your radar. Mark says it says come back on February 6th and try to sign up then and test it out and let us know what you think. So next Friday we'll look at it and talk about it.
He says TJ is standing on the inside waving at us from an exclusive window.
Mark, only because the tech people I follow on Twitter, and I just was, when I go to Twitter and I see the people that I interact, and I saw him, and actually this guy was in the he was one of the not journalists, he's one of the expert whatever on harassment and stuff in the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. Excuse me. he had a small section in it about the level of trolling and harassment that goes on social media, because that was a part of the documentary about the hate that she got and stuff. So he
Yes.
talked about all of the accounts that were created to harass her, the bots
Wow.
on Twitter and YouTube. So that, because that's his wheelhouse, that's his business, he's about that. So then because of that, then he was working on, I think he was working on it before that. He was working on the Twitter alternative. But just keep an eye on it. We'll talk about it next Friday.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go to TikTok and then we can let's wrap this up. So TikTok. Oh, speaking of Twitter, Twitter had a couple of things. I'll just quickly go through. Twitter's testing the ability to search through your likes so you can find out who has liked your tweet. Twitter's testing a new way to filter your replies. So if you
Sound
get a
off.
lot of responses to a tweet, you can search through them. They're experimenting with new timeline settings, which would provide more control over your timeline and pin lists. Um, so that's what Elon is doing. Also, I think Elon made his Twitter account private or something, and there was a big brouhaha about that. I don't really follow him like that, but that's what's going on with Twitter.
Okay.
All right, so TikTok. Now TikTok is doing two things. TikTok has launched a strikes-based penalty system for repeat offenders. So they have something for account suspicions and penalties in order to get rid of repeat offenders in the app, as opposed to taking action on each individual case. So here's the quote. They're saying repeat violators tend to follow a pattern. Our analysis has found that 90% violate using the same feature consistently, and over 75% violate the same policy category repeatedly. So they have a new system. So they're saying under the new system, if someone posts content that violates one of our community guidelines, the account will accrue a strike as the content is removed. If an account meets the threshold of strikes within either a product feature, like i.e. comments, or a live, or policy, i.e., bullying and harassment, it will be permanently banned. And they say
Wow.
strikes will expire from an account record after 90 days. Now, they also are going to add something within the app called safety in the safety center, which will let you know if you have any strikes or penalties applied to your account. This display will also include a listing of all the reports that you made on other content or accounts, providing more transparency in the enforcement process. So really what this is, in a nutshell, if you're on YouTube, you know they have the what is the copyright strikes, or the copyright section where you violate copyright when you upload music or something. So they have an area that will tell you what you did wrong and why and all of that stuff.
Okay.
That's what TikTok is doing. So they're going to put that in the app. So they have a strikes based penalty system for repeat offenders. All right. Now the last thing for TikTok, TikTok CEO is going to appear before Congress, and his TikTok CEO, I know I'm going to mess this up, Shu Z Chu, testified before the House Energy and Commerce Committee on March 23rd. Um, so Chu, this is a quote. Chu will be asked about TikTok's consumer privacy and data security practices, the platform's impact on kids, and their relationship with the Chinese Communist Party. So now
Mm.
remember, there is some issues going on with TikTok, and them they are using the app to spy on people or to follow or geolocation. They told European users, we just outright, looking at what you're doing, and if you use the app, you agree to it. Um, Byte TikTok and ByteDance, the owner of TikTok, ByteDance says they want to move all the data to the U.S. because right now I believe it's in Singapore and some other places. That's not
Malaysia.
the issue. It's not the issue where the data is. It's the issue that the app looks at what you do when you're using it on your phone, which can be problematic. We talked about this for a month. So this is
Mm-hmm.
just more information. So the CEO of TikTok is coming before the what is it? The U.S. House. Let me get this right. U.S. House Energy and Commerce Committee on March 23rd. We will hear more about this in March, when he goes before the committee. So
Okay.
TikTok. still on this journey of hide and seek, playing 3 card Monty,
Three card, three card
playing
Monty.
3 card Monty, because they really are doing what we suspect they're doing. Uh, Unfortunately, Trump was the first one to blow the horn on this 45, the 45 guy, and we were like, sit down. But now a broken clock is right 2 times a day. Okay, that's all I'll say about him. So
Hmm.
now we're really into the thick of it, and so there's just more discovery, and we'll keep up with it. Mark says that'll be interesting. Being questioned by flip phone owners, logging in from the AOL accounts, or still trying to figure out how to send a text.
Yeah,
Yes, I wish you
yes.
had a done up, but bump the little drum, but bump. Mark is right. Mark is
Hmm.
right. That's what's happening. But these
Sad.
committee members, they only know what their age tell them, and their age are millennial ages. So I kind of, that doesn't make me feel better, but it's just like, okay, it's a hair's inch better than having them talk
On
about
their own. Yeah.
it. So they'll get their talking points from their age, which is a good thing, because those are the technology savvy people. Okay.
Let us pray.
And yes, let us. Uh, and that is the social media news and update for this week.
Oh my goodness. Woo. There's been
Ah,
a lot going on here.
yes,
A lot
yes,
of
but that's
moving
what's going on.
parts.
You all caught up.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, TJ. I was reading about how they were using that AI to write listings for realtors and how they are developing tools so that teachers can
But see,
do better
that's a good way to
assessments.
use it. I love that story came out about the
Hmm.
realtors, because there's the opposite of that, where here in New York they're panicking and banning it in schools. They're
Yeah.
banning it in schools. They're not, you can't ban it from the kids' phones, but they're banning it for schools instead of saying, hey, wait a minute, let's use this as a teaching tool and showing them how they can use this correctly. Because banning it just means they're going to use it. And like I think Dr. Sachi mentioned last week about how they should be able to use it, and they're not.
Yes. Yeah, but I can remember when we had to write the little themes in grade school, and they would give us like starter sentences or prompts so that we could begin to brainstorm around an idea.
Right. So
Hmm.
that's how it is. It's just it's technology, and it's a little different. Now Mark got Joe's. Mark says, by the way, Californians and Floridians, send me some warmth. I am freezing. Mark, exactly what is your temperature? Because that's coming to me tomorrow. Like I
Oh
heard
my!
like -50 or some craziness.
Wow.
What do you have, Mark? Let
What's
me know
going
what
on in
temperature you have.
Chicago?
Yeah, because he's in Chicago. Because that weather, his weather is coming my way. So I'm thinking like they're like, oh, it's gonna be the worst temperatures in like a decade. I'm
Wow.
like,
You guys haven't had snow, and now you're getting
we haven't
ice.
had snow. It's been warm. But I mean,
Mhm.
I remember years in New York where it's been really cold one year and really warm. So it's not unusual. It's just
It's
that I'm like,
cyclical.
okay,
Okay.
when I hear -50, I'm thinking you're exaggerating.
Wow. Well, while we're doing that, Mark, we need to know, is Dr. Tachi in the house over there on Clubhouse?
Yeah, can they hear us?
I
I hear
can't.
you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes.
you. We are so ready for
Okay, hold
social
on just a
media.
second.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I'm coming.
Okay.
All right.
Um, while she's doing that, let me look up my weather. Cause
He
Mark,
says
you
this
gotta. Oh,
morning.
there it is. There it
Mm-hmm.
is. Yeah. This
This
morning it was
morning.
below 0. Now we are up to a balmy 7. Feels like -7.
Wow.
That's scaring me, Mark. I'm getting scared.
Don't be
I'm gonna
scared.
I'm gonna have to go out and do whatever I need to do today, because I
Yes.
won't be leaving the house for 2 or 3 days.
There
And
you go. Go stock up
uh,
on your groceries or whatever you have to
yes,
do just in
and
case.
I'll let Amazon deliver this month, but after February 31st, I'm done with Amazon.
Okay.
Okay, so I am getting okay, right now is 23. Tomorrow will be 26, and then Sunday 48. So is it going to be just a day?
Well, let me send you some of this 82-degree weather.
Yeah, give me some
Oh,
Florida
cool.
weather.
Wow. You know, it's not that warm here in California. We're in the 50s. So
I'm
I don't know.
sorry. I'm
Wow.
gonna have to retire to my second home in Florida. Yeah, right. Let me pack.
Yeah,
But see, that's
50s.
what a lot of the wealthier New Yorkers here. They're like, just let me pack up and get on the jet and go to the summer home and wherever they have their second or third homes.
We got these
So,
little snowbirds going. Okay.
There are a lot of snowbirds here. We
Uh-huh.
have, and it's funny when you look at the different places. Obviously, they call this area the sixth borough because there's so
yes,
many New Yorkers that live here.
Wow.
yes, they
But we
say that on the
also,
news here.
yeah, but we also have a lot of people from Montreal, well, French Canadians that live in Hollywood, which is also in Broward County where I am. So we have pockets of Northerners that live here. And here's the thing: it's like if that's something people wanted to do, the stupid governor notwithstanding, there are some still affordable things like condos and things that you can look at.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What
So it's getting not affordable, but
Yeah. Well, the country's headed that way. Oh my goodness, not
But
affordable.
Mark says it's only for today, so that's what I'm seeing in my weather app. That it's only like a day, so I
Mm.
think I can live with that.
You think you'll be okay? Okay.
Yeah, I just don't want having like 5 feet of snow and then
Exactly.
okay, that's messy getting around. So
Mm-hmm.
oh well.
Wow. Okay, Dr. Tashi, I think we're ready for you. Are you ready?
I am. What happened?
No,
What was
Nothing.
our sound?
Mark just wants you to know that his second home in Florida is your couch.
Okay. I'm hearing a lot of restaurant type things. Are you hearing that?
are we here? What?
Banging and noise?
Rustling. No, I had heard
Yeah, I
it,
don't know what that
but it
is.
stopped.
I don't know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All
We're
right.
clear.
Well, I'm ready. Here we go. So, lots going on in the world of media, and tech and pop culture. But I wanted to start with this. Now, I abhor politics or politics. I can't stand it. So I'm going to say this, but this is not talking about it in a political sense. You all can make your 2+2s if you like.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to talk about this. So DirecTV actually has gotten a letter from Senate Republicans over dropping Newsmax. Now, I don't know if you know, but about 2 weeks or so ago, DirecTV dropped Newsmax, which is a conservative-leaning news channel, from its lineup.
Mm.
So they dropped it, and it's because they couldn't come to an agreement over a carriage thing. So really what this is really just this business dispute. Other people have turned this political. So what happened is this, that Newsmax and DirecTV are in a carriage fee dispute. So, but this has now attracted the attention of Senate Republicans, as I said, and they've written a letter to DirecTV leadership saying that they are, quote, deeply disturbed by the decision to drop the cable news network, which tends to lead conservative. So, according to TV News on the Hill, it's not surprising that these are the GOP senators that are attached to the letter: Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, Mike Lee, and Tom Cotton. Excuse me. And in that letter, they are alleging that the actions by DirecTV may be the latest example of big business suppressing politically disfavored speech at the behest of liberal Democrats. They also say that DirecTV's decision follows a, quote, recent revelation of collusion between big tech companies and Democrat officials to label conservative speech as misinformation and censor it. The silencing of conservative speech at the request of government officials is a direct result on free speech and a threat to democracy.
Mm.
The
Okay.
GOP senators are not the only politicians, though, to question these moves by DirecTV. House Republicans and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and former president have all chimed in, putting their weight behind Newsmax. Now, here's what happened. Last week, as I said, they failed to come to terms on a new carriage deal. And this would have seen Newsmax getting a carriage fee similar to what other prominent cable news networks like CNN, Fox, and MSNBC receive.
Mm-hmm.
But Newsmax CEO added fuel to this by saying this is a blatant act of political discrimination and censorship against Newsmax. But here's the thing. DirecTV does not pay carriage fees to up-and-coming TV channels that are seeking a wider audience, which is what Newsmax is viewed at. So this is their viewers. Listen to the viewership. Newsmax averaged 178,000 total primetime viewers last year, placing it number 57 overall on a basic cable channel behind Fox, MSNBC, CNN, HLN, and CNBC. The channel averaged 120 viewers in a total day in 2022, which is number 52 on basic cable. However, DirecTV said that they want to continue to offer the network, but because Newsmax demands for rate increases, it would have led to significantly higher costs, which would have been passed on to DirecTV's broad customer base. So I'm saying this to say this, that factions have turned this into a political fight when it's not. It's a business fight. And when you keep doing things like this, leave politics out of this. This had nothing to do with it. Because as you see, they pay carriage fees to Fox News. They pay this, which is also conservative leaning. They pay carriage fees to MSNBC and other. It has to do with how big you are. You are up and coming, and they're not paying that. So if they did that, then they would have to do the same for every other channel who is claiming the same thing, and that is the policy. Why are you exempt and different? It has nothing to do with your political leaning, but it's making you not look favorable now that you're leaning on politics as a thing. So I don't want to turn this into a political debate, but I just wanted to let people know as I'm looking at this, I'm like, look, people, it should not be a political decision. This is purely business, but you have now turned it into a political debate, which I find despicable. Are you there?
Yes, because every time I try to run my business, you can turn it into a political debate. Anything can be turned into politics.
I don't know why the microphone for me keeps flashing off, but I'm like not hearing you. But now it's on.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Okay, go ahead.
I was saying, you can turn just about anything into a political debate, and we got to stop somewhere. Business is business.
Absolutely. This was a business decision, and to me, it spoils it for other people, for other channels who are trying to do things. Because if everything is going to be boiled down to a political leaning, which is, to me, if you're doing that, to me, that shows you have no other critical thinking skills but party. It's despicable. And I hope they hear this. I hope they're listening. It's despicable. Not everything is a political debate. Let something, this is the business of media. Let it be about the business of media. If a policy is that they're not paying carriage fees to smaller channels, then that's what it is. Newsmax, you saw, they only averaged about 178,000 per day. That's nowhere near what some of the, come on. You're not that special. Why should I make an exception for you because you're Newsmax? If it were me, that makes me not want to help you more. So I just find that despicable, and we need to kind of stop this. It's getting to the point of ridiculousness now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think.
All right. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think too. We have a comment here from Mark. He says, "Combine Truth Social, Newsmax, Fox News, CAN all into a single app and have at it.
Well, that would never happen because then they would never make money.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, that's what it boils down to. It is the business of media. They would probably, unless it was an acquisition. So if Fox News wants to acquire them, hey, have at it. But, we'll see.
We'll see.
Interesting. Yeah. So, okay. So let me tell you all this. Lean in, folks. Listen good. Now, according to page 6, a more, quote, humble Matt Lauer is considering a media comeback, according to sources.
Are you kidding me?
It's not a joke. This
Say
is not
what?
a joke. This is not a drill. Do not adjust your TV sets. So, obviously, we know he's been really silent since this whole thing, since he was ousted from NBC News. But now he's told friends that he's considering a return to media. So one source says that, quote, he thinks he should be able to have a comeback. And they're pushing him to make a move like Megyn Kelly and put himself back in the game on his own terms. So Lauer was fired from his longtime job as the Today Show co-anchor in November of 2017 because of complaints of inappropriate sexual behavior in the workplace. So there were all sorts of allegations by former NBC employee Brooke Nevels and others, obviously. And he was believed to have had a fling with another former NBC star, although he's denied any wrongdoing in that case. But sources say that Lauer has been focusing on spending time with his children and his girlfriend. Sorry, I shouldn't have said it like that. Spending time with his children and his girlfriend, public relations and marketing guru Shameen Abbas, with whom he has been recently spotted in NYC. So, according to page 6, quote, a Lauer source says, Shameen has absolutely no issues with any of the scandals. It doesn't seem to faze her. Okay, so apparently he's still upset
her
about
credit
how
card's still working. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said her credit card's still working. She's good.
Oh, wow, exactly. So, according to page 6, he's still pretty upset about how he was ousted from NBC and upset at all the people he thought were his friends who turned their backs on him, according to this source. He knows he made mistakes, and he's a lot more humble, apparently. So, although he's got some confidence back, he does realize that his road back into the media industry would be tricky. The source says, quote, he understands there might not be any sort of appetite for a comeback. In other words, he wants to see if there would be a chance, but he understands fully that there might be zero chance. He's not unrealistic. But he has had a couple of opportunities put to him. But then something always happens, like, for example, Katie Couric's book came out, and then those opportunities go away. So the release of that book was called Going There, and that was Katie Couric's memoir. And she said, the source said it really hurt Matt because the book included a private text messages between them, and Couric called Lauer's alleged behavior callous and grossly inappropriate. So the point is that he's trying to look at some sort of media comeback. His friends say that Lauer has put all of his, quote, reparations into his children, with the second source revealing that he now is an empty nester and his youngest is at boarding school and the other kids are at college. Lauer has 3 children with his former wife, Annette Roque. And they, as you can imagine, the divorce happened as a result of what happened with this allegation, and that was finalized in 2019.
Wow.
Yeah. So tell me, who's
I have a
down
question.
for a Matt Lauer comeback? Go ahead.
So Matt Lauer, can he do a podcast? Hold on, let me. I got my here. Can he do a podcast like Megyn Kelly?
Oh, he absolutely can. I mean, I think he can do whatever he likes. Now, I think the chances of him actually getting some sort of deal with a major network again is probably zero. But all we have to do is look in the podcast space. There's probably room for that, and there probably will be people who, out of curiosity, will tune in. So I think if there's a media comeback, it's definitely going to have to be on his own terms. It's definitely going to have to be self-funded, because no self-respecting advertiser is going to really want to put their stuff next to him. And I don't know, has it been? It's been 2017, but has there been enough remorse in turn on his part? I think
what would he have to say?
Go ahead.
What would he have to say what would he have to say is what my idea is. Like, why would I want to hear from Matt Lauer when I haven't heard from him since 2017? What does he have to say is what I'm saying.
Exactly. And from what I can understand, I don't think there's been any, I don't recall any apology or any remorse at wrongdoing on Matt Lauer. He just kind of disappeared.
Right.
And so now you want to come back into the public eye, into the media, and you haven't addressed the elephant in the room. I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll see. They're asking me what chance he has of coming back, maybe to a podcast, but I don't know. Again, we know him as the host of the Today Show, as a journalist, right? But what can he really do now? That's my thing.
He would have to talk about a passion of his. You know what I'm saying? Like his podcast, he couldn't just come on and go, I'm Matt Lauer and I'm the former host of the Today Show and I'm here to tell you the news. No, I don't want to hear it from you. But if you came on and said, I'm a bird watcher, I've been watching birds since 2017, let me tell you, know what I mean? He would have to come on as a niche topic. And I don't think his ego is going to do that.
I want to know why some people get a timeout and then they get to come back full blast and other people go to jail. That's what I want to know.
Well, okay, I brought up Megyn Kelly. Let's talk about Megyn Kelly for a second, because she was on, what was she on, CNN or Fox, and then NBC wanted her, and they courted her, brought her over. She had a daytime TV, the Meg Kelly, whatever. I never watched it, and she was going to be the next live with Regis and Kelly, whatever she was supposed to be. Like, because there's that third hour of morning news, because they, each morning news show gets the 2 hour, and then they have that third hour, and they want to keep people watching.
That show element.
They thought they were going to get the Fox people because they got Megyn Kelly, but she messed up. So she messed up big time, and they had to get rid of her. And now she's on wherever she is. I think she has a podcast. I see her on Twitter because she says things about people in the news negatively so she can get a reaction, so she can get people to watch her little podcast, which is not happening. So to come from that height of, okay, I have my own national TV show in the third hour morning to, okay, I'm just doing a podcast. You just going to get the little hater people, the little MAGA people that like you. You're not going to get anybody else because of your ugliness and the things that you've done. Right? So she's in that little box. Matt Lauer, he hasn't talked since 2017. He had a lot of following. Then we found out that he was just, doing these things. He kept quiet, which I appreciate. I didn't think he would, but he kept quiet. I guess he got enough money to relax. He got that spread in the Hamptons.
Something too.
He got that. Yeah, he's quiet, but I mean, he hasn't said. I haven't seen him. And I haven't seen him on New York stuff. I haven't seen him.
He's been out of the public eye since.
Right, that's what I mean. He has. When you said Matt Lauer, I was like, who? Because he hasn't been like even locally, like local stuff. Like, because all I know is he bought a house in the Hamptons, or he moved to the Hamptons, or he bought a new house, something, and it was some big price. And that was back in 2017. I haven't heard anything about him because he's a big deal here locally. Haven't heard anything about it. So that's why I was like, okay, he's really been quiet, whether it's NDA or by choice. And I'm glad that he did. by choice because nobody wanted to hear from him. Now he's emerging, but he cannot come out as I'm Matt Lauer. I was this big deal. He's got to get a niche thing, and he got to, come in on the niche wave of something that he's working on, his passion, something small, and he
Okay.
got to do a podcast. He can't come out and say I got a TV show because it's not happening. They're not ready for that. So that's how I feel like it. But I don't know if he's going to do that. I don't know.
Well, I think what he needs to do, his friends are saying he's a lot more humble. We haven't seen this humility.
He got to show it.
Is the same Eve Judge from 2017.
Right. He has to show it. He had to show the humility because when he left, when he was on TV, there was no humbleness there.
No humility at all.
Right. So if he's been living that, you've been walking the walk, you talk the talk now, and that's why I'm thinking he got to do something small and intimate and niche. And this is what I've been doing. I've been working on myself, or I've been this, or I've done horticulture. You know what I'm saying? He's got to have a topic that he's got to talk about and get those people, and then the rest will come in and say, "Oh, Matt Lauer has a podcast about succulents." I don't know why succulents is always on my mind, but that's what I mean. Like something that he's been working on that he's found a connection with, and I've grown, and I want to show you my growth. You know what I mean? He's got to do that. Otherwise, it's not working.
He has to humanize himself. Sorry, go ahead, Carolina.
I was just going to say Pat Murray's in the house. We just want to say, hey, Pat.
Hey, Pat.
I'm down in North Carolina.
Hey, Pat. So, I think that to kind of, not to belabor the point with this, but he's really going to have to show that he has humbled himself. He's going to have to show some level of remorse, and not just remorse that he got caught, not just remorse that people took it the wrong way, that he is culpable, accepts responsibility for what happened, and if that can even work, and say, I want to try to move on and be a better person. And like TJ said, that what I've been doing now is actually horticulture because it's helping me to connect with myself. And I would like to share that with you. You've got to be Mr. Humble Pie. Because if you come with the same, I'm the former Matt Lauer from the Today Show, it's not going to work. You need to strip down to the basic level of humility.
Yes, I agree with you. Can he do
even
it?
Then, I don't know that I care. But,
even then, we don't care.
Exactly.
There you go.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
And let's get him out of our sights and out of our minds because we've had just about enough of Matt Lauer. Let's talk Amazon. As you know, Amazon
he's no
is
Al Roker.
Everybody's. What happened?
I said he's no Al Roker. Like Al could come out and
Not
do
at
whatever, and he's got people loving him. So.
Al is beloved though. Matt Lauer was never beloved. He was there, but it was just known that he did not have a very nice attitude. We love Al Roker, right? So,
yes.
So let's talk Amazon. As you know, many of these companies, tech companies, media companies, and otherwise have reported their quarter four earnings, and Amazon actually beat expectations in their quarter four earnings, and their advertising revenue surged to $11.6 billion. Hello. And that was because of you too, Terry. Wasn't it? You said you were like.
I'm mad with Amazon because they want to charge me $10 to deliver.
Oh.
So I'm mad with them.
Why? Do you have Prime?
Amazon Fresh? I'm mad with them.
But don't you have Prime?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They're charging everybody. You have to spend $150 in groceries to get the 2-hour free delivery.
Oh.
If you spend right now, it's $35. If you spend $35, you get the free delivery in the 2-hour window. Now they're saying if I do the same $35, I have to pay $10 extra. And tip the guys and tip the people.
Oh, that's stupid because my thing is if I'm paying $10 extra, nobody's getting a tip.
it's going the 10. I'm like, the $10 is what? I'm already a Prime. I could see if I wasn't a Prime member. And I'm sorry, non-Prime members. I'm sorry. But if I'm a Prime member, what am I paying for? I should
Exactly.
get that
Exactly.
35. Right. So now I have to spend $150, which I don't want to, because this Amazon Fresh doesn't have enough fresh stuff for me. Some of the reviews on the meat and the organic vegetables and fruits is horrible. So I'm like, I don't get fresh stuff from them at all. So I'm not gonna spend $150.
Mm.
So they're not giving anything for that $10. So, and to get the free delivery, I have to spend $150, which I don't want to,
Oh
because
no.
then I don't want to spend that much with them, because there's no value in it for me, is what I'm saying. So, but I've heard other people say Whole Foods charges $10 a delivery.
Mhm.
Somebody said Kroger and some of the other places charge $10 for delivery. I think this was in one of my discords, we were talking about it, and they said that they already paid the $10. I was like, what? I was like, not me. I was $35. I'm free delivery. No
Mhm.
more. At the end of February, it's over.
Wow.
So,
See,
and
yeah,
plus,
everybody's trying to find ways.
just my little quick rant. And plus, I had a delivery from Amazon last night of something that they should have packaged well, but it broke inside of the package.
Oh no.
The length of things that I had to go through to get a refund, because they wanted me to return the thing, and I said, it's broken inside, it's all spilled out. How can I return it? But the automatic chat, the automatic system that Amazon has, was like, send it back and you get your money. I found the number and I called the number, and the lady was like, oh, you have to send it. I was like, I can't send it back. It's broken. It's liquid.
Mhm.
How am I going to send this back, lady? So I had to call the person, and she said, oh, okay, I can help you. But the whole system was, you have to return it. I was like, it's not returnable. And they wouldn't let me put that in. So between the delivery yesterday and the Amazon Fresh, I am
Done.
up to here with Amazon. So,
Okay.
Well, we'll see next quarter if your fed upness reflects in their earnings. If
I'm still
that's the same
using them.
case
I'm just
with
mad.
everybody.
I'm still using it. I'm just mad.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I feel you. You should be. I mean, as much as people pay, look, I really don't give a damn what they say about. They are all these companies are beholden to stockholders, and so
Yes.
they're trying to maximize profits for them.
Right.
You really don't have to make as much as you're trying to make to make. You're trying to maximize it, and so
Right.
somebody is suffering because of
Right.
that.
And see, the thing with
TJ.
Amazon Fresh, real quick, with Amazon Fresh, especially in like a city like New York City, I can get what I need in 2 hours, which is a very good thing for urban areas like
Mhm.
this. So I think Amazon saw how much we were using it in the city and was like, we need to charge more because we could get more. And that's what I'm mad about too. But go ahead.
Well, you should all protest and cancel and see what they say.
I can't.
Well,
Okay, let's
and
go
then,
on
so
with Amazon.
beholden you shall stay. Beholden you shall stay then. So they beat quarter 4 earnings. Now, the company also, this is interesting. They touted the success of Netflix's Wednesday, which is produced by MGM. So let's talk a little bit more about this. Amazon beat Wall Street expectations in its fourth quarter earnings report. They delivered stronger than anticipated earnings. And this is what CEO Andy Jassy says remains in what they say remains an uncertain economy. They had revenues of $149.2 billion in the quarter compared to $145.4 billion expected by Wall Street. The earnings per share were $1.39, and operating income was $2.7 billion, down from $3.5 last year. Still, the results were better than expected because of the economic situation faced by major tech companies. And Amazon, in a similar move to others, laid off 18,000 employees last month. Could that be where the earnings came from? Excuse me, I'm just saying. So their advertising has really been tough for some tech players, but it's actually booming in Amazon. Their ad revenues were 11.6 billion in quarter four, which was up 23% from last year. And they do sell ads on programming like Thursday Night Football, but the bulk of their advertising revenue is because of their e-commerce business. So that's what's going on with Amazon. They've made better than expected earnings. Good for you. And know that TJ is upset with you.
I am.
All right. So I just have a couple of other things to tell you. Walmart. Hold on, if it will let me. Okay. So Walmart is actually set to refresh their ultra cheap streaming device with a new 4K Google TV box. So introduced 2 years ago, and they priced it under $30. Walmart's original on-brand Android TV-powered streaming gadgets are they quietly carved out a niche, right? So they had sticks and dongles and all sorts of things that were powered by Android TV, and pricing HD streaming below $20 and 4K watching at cheaper than $30. So now, according to 9 to 5 Google, there is a new AV1 capable gadget that they have, powered by an Amlogic chipset, and it's a refresh of Walmart's ONN on-branded 4K streaming device. And largely that has disappeared from the retailer's shelf in recent months. So this is what they say. When we reviewed the Walmart on Android TV streamers in 2020, we were impressed at the overall performance to value ratio. At times, those streamers outperformed Google's own Chromecast at nearly half the price and even lower. I couldn't be more pleased to hear that this device is coming back. So they haven't confirmed, Walmart hasn't confirmed the street date or a product yet. But again, this is a prediction, and usually their predictions come true. So you could look for cheaper streaming from Walmart coming back soon to shelves. Yes.
Wow.
And let's see. Finally, let's have a little humor here. For those of you that are, where are you? So there is if you go on TikTok, this is really interesting. The San Antonio Zoo lets you, this is all for a great cause, for conservation. You can actually, there's something called Cry Me a Cockroach.
What?
You can actually, yes, listen now. You can actually name a cockroach after your ex that you're not too pleased with, and get a video of it being fed to one of the animals at the San Antonio Zoo.
Wow.
What?
That is sadistic. Oh my gosh.
It really is. It really is. If you're interested, you can actually go to the TikTok account for the San Antonio Zoo. And it's interesting because this actually started because I think it was one of the zookeepers or one of the staff there had a really bad breakup and came up with this idea. And now, so what they're doing is we're raising money. You can pay for this, and that money goes to conservation.
Just in time for Valentine's Day.
Okay. Just in time for Valentine's Day.
Wow.
So
would you want to get that TikTok?
Ahead,
oh my gosh.
What happened?
I said, would you want to get that TikTok? Oh my goodness. Your friend says it to you, man, you gotta check this out.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, go to the TikTok account for San Antonio Zoo. They may be on Instagram as well, but I know for sure TikTok. And you could see this woman in a cockroach suit dancing. and it lets you know all about this.
Wow.
And I'm glad it's a woman in a suit because I can't stand the look of cockroaches. So that's what I have for you for media this week.
Wow. I'm just
Thank
stunned
you.
by the
Yes.
last by the last report. I just like, wow, you that's a lot of energy, Doc. That's a
It
lot of
is.
hate.
It is.
So I
That's
don't
giving too much energy to someone. And my thing
exactly.
is, like, who knows if they even care?
Exactly. That's just too much. Oh, ooh, girl, go get some ice cream and sit down somewhere. I was like, oh my goodness.
That sounds good, actually.
Hmm. So, guys, we want to thank you so much for tuning in. We've gone a little over today, but we just want to thank you for your patience with me not knowing how to work Clubhouse and and having Francine on the road today. So we just thank you for your time. Thank you again, Dr. Tachi, for all you do, all the way from Florida and from New York City. Terry Johnson Online. You can find them. And is Mediascope back up for February?
Hmm? What?
I was,
Oh,
I was asking Dr. Tachi if
oh.
Mediascope was back. They're supposed to come back in February.
Yes, no, not yet. End of February.
Oh, end of February. Okay, very good.
Uh-huh.
So with that, we just want you to keep Mediascope in mind. But if you're looking for TJ online, you can find her at Terry Johnson Online everywhere. And we thank you for your time. Oh my goodness. So with that, we say it's okay to make money in your business. So don't forget to go to the front of your own line. Have a great day, and we will see you soon. Bye
Bye,
bye,
everybody.
everyone. I'm going to need someone to close out the clubhouse. Bye bye.